Had to get the plunger. No. Got to stir it first. Got to get the coffee right on the weekend. It's about procedure, isn't it? Process. It's about the therapeutic. You know what I mean? Like, it's being conscious of what you're consuming. You know. So like, I'm not just necking it. Like there's a. It's like people say, like people that smoke cigarettes. The rolling is part of the process. So the rolling and the process of and then the little finger thing and the little skill involved and the little finesse. That's like all part of the addiction. It's something to do with your hands. It's so on Saturday, coffee, process, and there's no cutting corners, you know. Tom's outside. Someone's listening to my ramblings. So let's do the press, of course. Gonna have a nice press. It'd be cool if this made like a sound, a bit like SMR, but it doesn't really make sense. It gets a bit tough there. You can't, but then like you can't force it. You've still got to be firm. Just been to the gym, so I've got a little pump on. Oh yeah, look, haircut. What you saying? Nice, nice, nice. Put a little product in it, I reckon, in a bit. Yeah, boy. I'm looking forward to this. I've been thinking all week. I was like, what am I going to talk about in my Saturday video? And I want to. There's so much to talk about that I struggle sometimes just to sort of like making like a 10-minute video about it. So I think today's going to be my past, present, and future video. So of the industry and such, and I've done a bit of everything. So past, I originally started in doing sublimation printing mobile phones, 3D printing onto objects. That was printed onto foil paper on a short color. Is it 3200 or something like that? Did that. So that was sort of my introductory, but it kind of wasn't in a way, because I also had like an A3 printer, and I had, I can't remember what order I did it in. Did I have the large format printer before I started that job? I don't think so. Yeah, I did. I had an HP Design Jet. I had a spare room at the time, and I had an HP Design Jet where I was just printing out posters for myself. Where I'll do an illustration, just selling on stuff on Etsy. I've kind of taken a step back from that. I still love it. I do. I always love art. Got Rothko and Van Gogh behind me. Got some another painting there. My flat at the moment is a bit like an exhibition. Actually, I've got Joan Cornella over there. Some tattoo stuff over there. I'm not a big fan of tattoos. I haven't got any, but my friend gifted it to me, so it's like his gift to me. You know, so it's his, but it's not his. But yeah, whatever. So yeah, I had a little sort of studio going on. It was quite cool. I had all the papers, and it was she's an old girl, and I was just printing on paper. I wasn't printing on vinyl. I had no idea about vinyl. In fact, I was a bit like, oh no, it's expensive, £100 a roll. I can't risk that. I didn't know where to start. I got a couple of little A4 sheets of vinyl, and I was printing on them, and the ink wasn't landing. So I was just like, this stuff's difficult, and I just thought to myself, well, I'm not going to bother with that. And then I got into an art exhibition, and I was doing a few prints for those guys and making a couple of quid from it. And I was thinking, oh, bloody hell, you know, I can do something with this, because like paper's pennies, ink is pennies. It's the machinery and the labour really that you're paying for with print, and obviously all the admin that goes into it. So yeah, so I kind of sort of, I did it for myself because I thought I've got the space. I might as well buy £1,000 printer. I think it was about £800 actually, but a couple of rolls of paper here and there that knocks up to £1,000. I can't remember. It was a while ago. Might be more, might be less. So don't quote me. But And I learned everything from that printer, and I was just like, I changed the belt. There's other things that I changed on it as well. Gone blank there. There was other things I changed in it, but you know what I'm saying. Like, so I worked with this machine and just kind of self-taught. And again, if you're gonna fail cheap and quick. So again, it was a cheap large format printer, solid workhorse. Never even cleaned the heads. I didn't even know about that stuff. I just kind of got it, and when I wasn't using it, it just sat there turned off. I didn't let the machine breathe or anything. So eventually, the print heads went, and I started printing on like toilet paper to see if I could print on it, and that made it even worse. So I just sold it for like 80 quid. Just sold it for parts. Mate came and collected it. So there must be a market still out there for it. I think he came from like Wales as well. I was like, okay, no, he must be making a markup on it, like a nice one, or must have been in the area maybe. I don't know. But so I sort of self-taught. Then I got the job doing the sublimation stuff, using large format short colors, and what was the other printer? There was another printer that used Onyx, so the short colors use Colorgate. Colorgate's a mysterious company. Try talking to their customer service. They've definitely lost customers due to the Germans' attitude. That's all I'm going to say. It's very robotic. I called them one time and they were just like, "What do you want?" Like, it was basically that. Like, it's just paraphrasing. But then you got like VersaWorks and Rasterlink that are all free now. So Colorgate, like, what? Unless Colorgate, and those profiles sell for a lot of money as well. To me, I don't know what the difference is, Colorgate and like Onyx and the free software. I guess it's the machine you're using, isn't it? Or people just like what they like. I had a guy who said, "I never want anything cheaper. I don't care what my formula works, my inks work, my vinyl works. I don't care if what you're offering can save me money, because the second you change, you sort of other things change, characteristics and machines change, and then you're like, oh." So I completely understand. So, but I'd buy a second machine and start just, if you can save money, that machine could potentially pay for itself. So you've got to be open-minded, but again, you can't be distracted either. And a lot of things in business are distractions. Like, I get all the time. It's probably why I'm like running as slow as the slowest man here, because I'm trying to do everything at once, where I'm not just ticking off things. I keep going back and forth, dotting the I's, crossing the T's, and going back and checking. And so yeah, Steed Graphics website and the AMPERSAND Shopify is live, by the way. It's got about 20 items on there at the moment. All the custom shoes are on there. I've been posting it on the shorts. And then then I started doing that, printing bottles, working with really cool companies, working with great projects, all NDA. I can't say. Maybe I'll say on another video. You've got to like and subscribe to see if I spill the beans on that one. And then I sort of dabbled and all that. And I met a friend. I met a guy, and we became friends. And his dad owned a print house, and then I joined them for a while. That was working with Makita cutters, big boy another short color, two short colors, and velo cutters and creases, and going sort of more into the crease and cutting and packaging design and stuff. And I'm an art worker as well, so I know all that stuff. I can do the design and stuff. I'm not gonna lie, there's a part of me that thinks design is dead. I see adverts these days and they all look the same to me. I don't know if that's just my like educated eye. I don't mean to be pretentious or anything, but design these days is just buying assets. It's like, I was talking to this guy, 3D prints. He's like, I buy them all, and I buy all my prints, or buy all the assets off a website. I rarely build anything myself, because the time it would take me is hours, and I can just pay someone £5 a month and I have all their assets. So graphic design is a bit more like that now. So graphic design, that's where like the creativity of it is just compositions and sort of learning where the eye gets tired, and color swatches and such, colorways, whatever they call it. Then I went through a few other companies. I am loyal, but sometimes, you sort of punch a ceiling in a company, and because they were my friends as well, there was this line between professionalism, and I just thought to myself, and like, you ask a mate to do something and he'd tell you to fuck off, but you ask him for a favor and they'd do it. Like, there's that saying, always do a favor but never take an order, and it was a bit like that working for a friend. I felt like I was, again, going as fast as they allowed me to, because they were like, but that's just friends, isn't it? Like, they're thinking, oh, he's never going to leave. He's got it easy here. It's a flexible job. It was calm. I could go in when I wanted, leave when I wanted. It was. But then again, that sort of is a curse as well, So I was like, I kind of need to up my game. I need to keep punching the ceiling. So I moved. I was there for 3 years, and I moved to another place where they had big boy flatbed machines. Never used them before. Picked them up within a day. It didn't take me long. They're relatively easy to use, and then a big boy cutter as well. I have dabbled in small format using guillotines and printers, but a lot of that stuff is just triple checking stuff. It's not very exhilarating the way I find large format. Large format to me is way better. Small format's fine, but on large format, unless you're making like a book or something, that's cool. Small format, like, because then you've got to like bind it in the way you want to bind it, and then get the gilly, and then you've got to put the what's it called, where the pages, as they go in, you've got to consider that there's a word for it. That's annoyed me. It's like a special bleed where eventually, when you fold the paper over, it will line up straight, and then you can just gilly it. If put in the comments, but I can't remember. And I worked for them, and then I, dabbled here and there, and all while this is happening, I'm just doing my side hustle. I'm a sole trader as well, all legal and stuff. I do my taxes, and it's kind of doing all right, So and now I am where I am. I'm with a company, and I'm basically working a laser, and I love it. The guys there are fantastic. In fact, every job I go to, maybe a couple, has been great. You find great people, passionate people, and that's who I want to surround myself with. These guys I work with are smart, and and I like that. I like being around, surrounded by people that are smarter than me. They use correct terminology and all that, but they're also passionate, and they understand, and they're approachable. It's a good environment to be in. It really is, and that's where I am at the moment. But then I'm doing my side hustle. But the website's got taken, so now I'm rebuilding. So at the moment, my poor printer isn't getting used that much. I might do a couple of little bits here and there, but so it's really hit a wall. So sort of bad timing for the website to get pulled. It should have got pulled beforehand, and then I would have been more hesitant by the printer. So I'm in a bit of a pickle there, but I'm in a good place. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I can see things moving, and even if the print stuff kicks off, I won't leave my job. I like it. I like it at the moment, unless I'm making hundreds of thousands. But that's winning the lottery, isn't it? So like, if I won the lottery, would you go to work tomorrow? It's sort of. It's one of those ones, isn't it? I'm not going to get a big contract from someone, doing this in my flat. I need, So I want it to grow, and eventually. But again, at this place I work now, I have access to metal cutting, this weird sort of screen printing, and powder coating. It's got a small flatbed there as well, so I have access to all of these things. Welding, I can weld. So it's like pros and cons, isn't it? So like, I've got access to a workshop and basically a massive print studio, laser engravers galore. So I can offer metal products as well, which I will be offering on Steed Graphics. Metal cutting. So in the future, where do I want to be? I think I I want to rebuild and ampersand and get that ball rolling, get the Shopify moving, just to a nice steady place, and see graphics with the health and safety stuff. I really, really, really like making content, and I just like working with my hands basically. So imagine if the job kicks off and it starts, I started doing other stuff there. I always have, a little finger in print. Like there's just no way you cut me and I bleed magenta. I mean, I bleed magenta ink. I bleed CMYK. No, that's cringe. But you know what I mean. Like it's sort of a passion of mine, and with all my experience and everything that's happened, and all the little weird jobs, and all the materials, and all the people I've met, and all the knowledge, and I can sort of see what's coming and where it's all going, and I feel like I can put that forward to a customer if they came to me and said, "Hi, I need this," and I can say, "Oh, great. Well, da 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 da." So I've got my head screwed on as well. So hopefully, and ampersand will become, some bigger with me as the face, the brand of the company as well. So people go, "Oh, I'll go down ampersand," and Chris is there as well. Chris will help me out, and maybe I'll have a little shed at some point. They do these little bungalow studios over in the industrial park. No bit bigger than my front room, and that's all I need. I can't imagine them being too expensive. So if this, I would like it sort of being its own ecosystem. So if it could move out of my flat and then pay for itself there, like I feel like I'll be living like a second life, and I've got this like alter ego, which is also like a sole trader, and I think it's cool. I do think it's cool, and again, I don't think there's crazy money in print anymore, unless you're working with, you've got contracts, and contracts are there for a reason. People bring their own people in as well. So I want to help out the little guy. I want to, do the legal stuff, because that's, a consumable. Everyone needs it, unfortunately. You need to idiot proof everything. It's just the way it is, the way the world is. So that's sort of, and I just want to surround myself with passionate people, and maybe get a dog or a cat. I don't know. Might get a missus. Who knows? I don't know. Who knows? But I'm in a good place. I look forward to these videos every week, and I go between my heads thinking back and forth, like, what should I talk about? And there's so much to talk about that I just I know I'm just going to freelance. So again, if I misspeak or whatever, I'm not that bothered. I like it. And give me a little nod in the comments if you think my haircut's mildly adequate. Beautiful day today, guys. Go outside, and don't eat any lily of the valley. That stuff's poisonous. Thinking it's wild garlic. That's something I have done, and it burns your face. So don't do that. What a nice day. Onwards and upwards, eh? Thanks for watching. Likey and subscribey. Cheers.